A single blurry photo shattered the internet. It was just past midnight on an empty Los Angeles street. A figure, hoodie up, face half lit by a flickering street lamp, running. People swore it was him, Timothée Chalamet. They argued about the expression. Was it terror? Was he chasing someone? Running from something? Within hours, the image was gone, wiped from every platform, deleted. Accounts that posted it were suspended. The link turned into a 404 error, as if the image had never been real. But millions had seen it. Millions had saved the silhouette, the fear, the expression that didn't look like acting at all. It took a day for a whisper to leak out from someone closer to him. He wasn't running from danger. He was running from a version of himself. That line stuck because it wasn't a metaphor. It was real. Timothée Chalamet wasn't supposed to be the boy who haunted Hollywood. He was supposed to be the boy who charmed it. But everything people loved about him, the softness, the mystery, the indie film aura, came from a childhood far more unsettling than most fans ever knew. They say he never slept, that even as a kid he lived entire lives inside his head, writing scenes and imagining characters. Classmates remembered him staring out the window like he was watching a movie no one else could see. Directors said he didn't audition. He materialized like something pulled out of an unfinished dream. He learned early that the world treats sensitive boys like beautiful objects. So he hid everything else. Ambition, fear, anger. He wore shyness like armor, and Hollywood turned him into a symbol for a type of masculinity that felt foreign and magical. But symbols eventually crack. When he entered the industry, someone powerful told him, "If you want to survive here, don't ever show who you really are." And he listened. Too well. Fame didn't hit him like a wave, it hit like a storm. We romanticized his relationship with Lily Rose Depp, two pretty people walking quietly through Paris, young love wrapped in designer scarves. But behind the photos, their world was collapsing under the weight of schedules, careers, and disproportionate fame. When they broke up, it wasn't just gossip. For him, it was a shatter. Then came the plot twist nobody expected. Kylie Jenner. The internet lost its mind. Fan wars erupted. Was it PR? Was it real? Their first public kiss became one of the most viral videos of the year. But privately, he felt something darker. He no longer knew who loved him and who loved the idea of him. Every relationship felt like a negotiation. Every compliment, a trap. The romantic boy the world adored was losing his faith in romance. That blurry photo, it came from a night where he reached a breaking point. He wasn't running from paparazzi. He was running from the weight of being everyone's fantasy, but no one's reality. Fame had become a cage and every compliment was another lock. But this story gets stranger. The change started with the strange things. Anonymous letters predicting his next project. A black car parked across the street that vanished without a trace. Then a message from an unknown number. "You looked happier earlier tonight. Enjoy that while it lasts." The fear wasn't external, it was psychological. In London, a little girl handed him a folded note. "You should stop pretending." 2 days later, the same note arrived in a package at his hotel. In France, someone left a sketchbook on his table filled with charcoal drawings of him, crying, running, and holding his face like it was slipping off. The final page read, "It's exhausting to be loved for the wrong reasons, isn't it?" He didn't tell anyone. He didn't want to be paranoid. But in Hollywood, paranoia often precedes truth. He found solace in the unexpected. Kylie. Behind closed doors, she treated him like a person, not an icon. When he spiraled, she grounded him. But the world hated it, wanting to tear them apart simply because they didn't match the collective fantasy. Then came the night he found the camera, hidden in a plant pot outside his house pointed directly at his bedroom window. He held the cold metal in his hand, feeling helpless for the first time since he was a teenager. Someone wasn't just watching from afar anymore. Someone wanted to be too close. His security team locked everything down, but the camera was gone, the footage erased. Whoever placed it knew the blind spots. They wanted the truth he'd spent years burying under scripts and interviews. They wanted him. Staring into his reflection, Exhausted and dark-eyed, he whispered, "I can't keep living like this." And finally, for the first time in years, he made a decision. He would stop pretending. The moment he chose truth, Hollywood responded like a wounded beast. A role vanished. Directors grew distant. Brands hesitated. The message was clear. Stay soft, stay beautiful, stay quiet, or stay forgotten. But he had changed. The stalker, the notes, the camera, they weren't threats. They were mirrors, forcing him to face the one thing he'd avoided: himself. He walked out of a high-profile photo shoot when they tried to dress him like the boyish dream again. "Stop turning me into something I'm not," he demanded. The word spread. Timothy wasn't playing the Hollywood puppet anymore. With every boundary he set, the stalker's presence seemed to retreat. The footsteps disappeared. The messages stopped. But freedom came with a price. The machine pushed back with unflattering articles and leaked reports. He didn't back down. In an interview broadcast across the world, he said, "I've played a version of myself for so long that I forgot who I actually am. I'm done being a fantasy." The illusion shattered. And the consequence? The stalker returned. A message was sent to his private email, an address only a handful of people had. "You're finally honest. Now let's see who you become." It wasn't a threat, it was a challenge. He dove into work with ferocity. He demanded rewrites. He argued with producers. He rejected the pretty roles. He was no longer losing his charm. He was reclaiming his identity. But one night he returned home to find his front door slightly open. On his kitchen table lay a single white envelope. Inside, a perfect clear photograph of Kylie, unaware, taken from a distance. Below it, a handwritten line. "You have something worth protecting now." This wasn't a game. This was rage. He hired a personal investigator, someone with experience in tracking digital footprints. The investigator told him, "Stalkers don't escalate unless they feel ignored. Now they feel threatened by your change." It made sense. For years, the world idolized him for being fragile. Now he was destroying that image. That night, he walked to the center of his living room, surrounded by erased security footage, and whispered, "Show yourself." No one appeared. But he felt the shift, he felt the presence, and he whispered again, "I'm not afraid of you anymore." The final message arrived. Fear was never the point. Truth is. He understood then. The stalker wasn't the danger. The stalker was the mirror. Someone was pushing him, testing him, forcing him to peel away his layers until the real man emerged. Someone wanted him to be free. On a quiet December night, he saw the figure again standing across the street under a lamp. Not hiding, just watching. He walked towards them, unafraid. The figure didn't move until he reached the street's edge. Then they turned and walked away. He didn't chase them. He didn't need to. He finally understood. The stalker was a catalyst, a force that made him stop living as half a person and start becoming whole. He walked back inside and whispered to the darkness, "Thank you." Not because he forgave the stalker, but because he finally forgave himself for pretending to be anything less than who he truly was. The boy Hollywood crafted was gone. The man he forged himself into, raw, unguarded, unshakably real, was finally here. And Hollywood, the fans, the world, would have no choice but to witness it.